Doesn't sound like a cowboy to me. Hi there, Tim Haldeman here with another episode of Tales of a Bit Actor. This one again deals with my time on the TV show Kung Fu, which was a Western back in the 70s. I have a lot of stories from that show because I was on it as a stand-in. I also acted for 3 years. So it was quite a time. So if you watch the first episode of this series, Tales, it dealt with my first day on Kung Fu, in which they put me on a horse and I didn't know what I was doing. It was a complete fiasco, which my dad witnessed. He was the production manager, Ed Haldeman. So he said to me after that I don't want to see you on a horse until you know what you're doing. So the first thing he did was call Dyke Johnson, a friend of his that owned a huge ranch out in Thousand Oaks. And what Dyke Johnson did was he had all the Western wagons, the stagecoaches, buggies, horses, saddles, everything, okay, to make a Western. So he called him and said, would you teach my son how to ride? He said, sure, Ed. Have him show up here at the barn at 6:30 on Saturday morning. So, lo and behold, I was there at 6:30 in the morning. And I walk around to the barn, and here's Dyke Johnson. He has 2 horses. Very nice. I introduced myself. Very nice man. And he said, okay, you're going to be riding Dusty here. It was this sandy-colored, nice-looking horse. And first thing he told me was how to check the cinch, make sure it was tight before you climb on any horse, and how to get on. So I get up on him, and now he's riding this young horse that he's breaking in, right? And pretty little horse. So he gets the reins, and he gets ready to climb up on the saddle, and he brings his knee up, okay? And as he brings his knee up, the horse kind of shudders away from him, okay? And he has his knee in midair. He lets it down. Let's go. Goes around to the front of the horse, holds the reins, and punches him right in the nose. I go, oh my gosh, he just hit his horse. You can't hit your horse. Now the horse had just went like that. And Dyke comes back around, grabs the reins, gets up, puts his foot up, goes up, horse doesn't move, gets on there. So now we go out and he has a huge pasture that we could ride in. Now, you have to understand about my horse, Dusty, was John Wayne's picture horse, okay? This horse was a Cadillac. I mean, first off, you'd say giddy up and he'd go into a little rocking horse gait, you know? Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Now, if you wanted to go right, you just lay the reins on the left side of the neck, horse would go right. Want to go left, right side, go left. It was amazing. Stop, whoa, it was so cool. So, I got to ride Dusty. I rode Dusty for a month of Saturdays, okay, for 4 weeks in a row. I'd go out there in the morning, we'd get up there and we'd ride, and he'd tell me certain things. And the 5th weekend, I show up Saturday morning, ready to go. I've been riding now for a month. Dusty isn't there. He's got another horse. He's got his little horse that's working out really well. And he says to me, he said, well, Dusty's a little lame today. I'm going to give him a day off, rest. He said, yeah, you ride Lobo. I went, okay, that doesn't matter to me. I know what I'm doing. So I get up on Lobo, and then Dyke said, you know, I got to check something in the office. You go out, warm up Lobo, and I'll come out and meet you in a little while. I said, okay, no problem. So I start riding Lobo. Kind of a tough gait on Lobo. I mean, it was like boom. But we get going. I get a nice little trot going, little gallop going, right? Not fast. And we start riding out into the pasture towards the far fence. And we start getting closer to this fence, and I start to turn him to the right. He won't turn. I go, whoa, wait a minute. I turn him to the left. He won't turn. He starts speeding up. He's speeding up. Now this rail fence is coming up, right? And I'm pulling back on. This horse won't do anything, man, except he runs straight up to this fence and stops right in front of it. I mean, hoisted me right over the horn, and let me tell you, it hurt a little bit. I was singing tenor for the rest of the afternoon, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I got back, I got him pointed left along the side of the fence, okay? So now we start going off again. We start going, nice little gallop, we're going along. And up ahead, there's a tree that's actually on the other side of the fence, but this big branch is over the fence, right? And it's right about this height, okay? So I'm riding the thing and I start to, again, try and pull him off to the left so we miss the branch, right? The branch is coming up like this. I go, whoa, just miss it. I go, oh my God. Finally, I got him stopped with a struggle, right? And I turned him back for the barn. We start going back to the barn. Now he's happy because he knows he's going back to the barn. We're done for the day, okay? So I come into the little corral where we saddled up, right? And Dyke comes walking out, and I said, Dyke, I can't get this horse to do anything. He just has a mind of his own. Dyke looked at me and said, doesn't sound like a cowboy to me. And I went, oh, okay, I'll be back. He said, I'll be here. So I got Lobo pointed out. We ride out to the tree, to that branch on the tree, and I finally got him stopped. And I broke off a switch off the tree, about that long. It was maybe, just maybe half an inch wide. Nothing heavy, right? But we start going. We start riding along. I start to turn him. He won't turn. I went, bam! Hit him right between the ears. Right? And he just went, We start going again. Try to move him in another direction. He wouldn't do it. Bam! Ooh. That was it. It took twice. Then he understood, I'm not going to take it. So now we got along. And I rode him the rest of the day. And he was fine. See you next time.